Hey everybody, so we're at the spur trail for the Pinefield Hut where we last left off, and my buff is looking funny. There's a bunch of people down there right now, but we're gonna get going with the next section of the trail going up to Smith Roach Gap, which is about 7 miles from here. So we are gonna go over Weaver Mountain and then into Simmons Gap, over another rise. I don't think we actually go over a mountain, but then we'll be in Powell Gap, and we kind of rise up a little bit and go across or around a peak, I think. Anyway, it's not a big elevation gap. Then we get into Smith Roach Gap again for the finish. So 3 ups and 2 downs shouldn't be too bad with the weather as it is today, same day as last week's video. We should see some pretty good stuff up trail. So let's see how long I can last going up Weaver Mountain before I have to turn it off because I'm huffing and puffing too much. All right, here we go. Oh, maybe if I did that. Okay. So when I was leaving, there were 2 groups of 2 in the shelter area. There was 2 guys going in. I think it was 2 guys going in there. Looked like they had equipment to stay the night, but it's only 3:15, so it's a little early to get there for the night. It's also, well, I don't know. Maybe it's not too early to get there. Like I don't know where else you would go. Except for High Top, maybe you could make it before nightfall. But what was I gonna say? Oh, I don't know. They can still tent there. I was surprised to see that many people on a Sunday afternoon, especially 2 of them looking like they're gonna stay over on a Sunday night. Not usual. Oh man, looks like we got most of the way up. All right, check back in next time there's a awesome view to peep. Got the summit of Weaver Mountain in front of us, and the second hardest climb of the hike done. This almost looks like the trail that you'd see in the movie, like a fairy tale or something like that, with just like straight, bordered on the side by some nice lovely, this is more of those plants that I showed you, or flowers that I showed you guys in the last video. Like really small flowers. I don't know what they are. They're lining the path on both sides. It's pretty cool, I think. These bugs are relentless. If I stop for a second, they just swarm me. Just hoping the breeze picks up. That definitely keeps them away. All right, we are on top of the mountain. Although I suppose that's technically the high point. I don't really care. All right, down into Simmons Gap, and there's a ranger station down there. And then the big climb for the day before we coast on home. Unfortunately, this has been like most of the Vantage, and I'm definitely like a little unnerved by the creaking of the trees right now with all the wind. It's hard to tell what's dead and what's alive, but just keeping my eyes peeled. I'll be all right. Okay, see you guys down the trail. So if you're curious what new trail looks like, this is it right here. There's been a trail team in here recently-ish to dig up, see how it's fresh cut on the right-hand side there, and then kind of a pile on the left. And I think that little like flat spot over there is where the old trail was. It looks like it was starting to sink down off the side of the slope. So they cut a new one a little bit higher up. And just resurfaced it here, it looks like. But should be getting to Simmons Gap pretty soon. Alright, welcome back everybody. We just got to the top of Flat Top Mountain, which is relatively flat on top. That's actually technically the high point right there. But there was a nice sitting stone right there, so I came a little bit further. Now we're just going to head down into Powell Gap. It's about 1.7 miles from here, and then Smith Roach Gap is about 1.6 from there. So 3.3 total for the rest of the day. And the big climb's done, so all the work, most of the work's done. We got to go down, and then the climb up into Smith Roach Gap isn't too bad. It's kind of bouncy, but about a half of our descent from Flat Top. Been absolutely great today. Hope you guys are enjoying the progression of the season so far and these hikes. I enjoy getting out here and making the videos, sharing something I really love doing with you guys. Hope that some of you guys actually get out here and hike, or just do something that like brings you closer to nature in some way. It can be as simple as gardening. I think it's good for everybody to be connected to nature on a regular basis. So coming down, it's just like a sea of these white wildflowers. I don't know what they are. Daisies or daffodils, maybe? I haven't the foggiest idea. Pretty though. And they're all over the place. You just like look over and they're all across the forest floor. We're very close to that overlook. It's actually before the next gap. So just wanted to show you the flowers, and then we'll pop back in when we get there. And here's the overlook. We're about 2 miles from the end of the day right now. And if you look to the left, you can see where we're going to go. The road through on the other side of that tree is just below where the AT is. So we're going to go down into the gap that you can't see. Well, maybe you can, like right through that thicket. And then follow the road along this side of that mountain. I'm not going to go over the top, just go around it. And then that bigger one in the background is high top. So we're going to go to the base of that mountain over there. So they closed the park to, I think, all overnight stays. I know you can't camp in the back country anymore, even though the sign on the shelter said you could tent. At Pinefield, they overruled that. That was an old sign. So I think there's a fire. It was like a fire ranger at the parking lot near Simmons Gap, where the ranger station was, and he was using his loudspeaker for something. I don't know exactly what, but I assume telling people needed to like go home or whatever. Just a lot of birds on the way back. No more danger noodles or other animals to speak of. A couple dogs today. Big old husky. And a little, I think, French bulldog. There we go. Well, I figure I'll just end it there. We're about to get to the parking lot, so appreciate everyone coming out today for another hike in Shenandoah while we can. Like I said, having had them just close down overnight camping, I'm assuming that a full closure of the park isn't soon, or is going to be coming soon. They've already shut down the Smoky Mountain, entire Smoky Mountain National Park, and Yosemite as well, and a lot of other stuff. So I'm assuming that it's just a matter of time before they shut this park down too. It's pretty popular, and there's a lot of people here today. Anyway, I'm going to try and get these videos out and keep taping as long as I can. And hopefully this helps bring a little bit of nature and sunshine to all of our quarantines, because it is not fun. Not fun sitting at home all the time and not being able to do anything. I saw college and Swish last night, and there wasn't much we could do. Just like sit in and watch YouTube videos. But anyway, appreciate you guys coming along on the hike today, and I will see you hopefully next week with, I don't know, probably Smith Roach Gap to Swift Run Gap, where 33 comes in, and that's actually the first third. That'll be the finish of the first third of the trail in Shenandoah. I don't know if it's the exact mileage third, but it's kind of psychologically, because there's a ranger station there and at Thornton Gap that breaks the park up into 3 zones. So we'll be done with the southern section after this week, and the parking lot is right there. So we are at the gap. Thank you all, and I will see you down the trail.